Am I really that old? I'd say DVDs started fading out about 14-15 years ago, when Blu-ray became popular, and that in turn started fading about 7-8 years ago. Maybe ask Blockbuster? Around 2015? You should hang out in our piracy for a while. Well, I'm 21 and I've been collecting DVDs my whole life. I've got 1,500 DVDs and you can still buy them in stores, so it must have been recently lol. DVDs became relics when HD TVs became a thing. I'm still a fan of physical media, but DVDs can only do SD content that looks terrible on modern TVs. You aren't that old, but your collection isn't exactly that great. Mine are in the attic. I have an old PS3 tucked away behind the TV in case we ever need to play a disc, but we honestly never do anymore. The last time we needed a disc player, which is when I dusted off the PS3, was when my wife wanted to watch some old home movies that had been transferred from film tape to DVD, back when that was the thing to do. These days, they'd probably be uploaded to the cloud somewhere. DVD? No. Now if you had said 8 tracks. Probably in 2015 or so. My mom and her husband are pushing 50 and only stream. It's all preference. Not at all. I've been borrowing DVDs from my library because it's cheaper than subscribing to different streaming services. DVDs aren't that old. Shit man, renting VHS tapes was still pretty common when I was growing up. The only person that's gonna look at a DVD and call it a relic are the most recent generations. Hell, most of Gen Z should be familiar with DVDs, for crying out loud. Do you remember VHS tapes? Cassettes? CD? Technology moves on. I still have all 3 plus a ton of DVDs, but I don't question why they aren't popular anymore. I personally choose to stream things, even if I own them when they are included with my subscriptions. I don't rent and rarely buy digital media. It's easier. It's weird to me that you would choose to pop in a DVD for something you can just stream, or, when told it's on streaming, you show your box of DVDs instead of just okay cool, let's watch. I'm old. I've bought a few DVDs because they are unique and generally unavailable streaming, like the SCTV boxed set, but there really aren't that many movies I do watch enough to be worth the expense. I got rid of most of my DVDs 12 years ago when I moved across the country. I stopped buying DVDs a few years before that and only bought a couple dozen Blu-rays over the years. If I want to watch a DVD or Blu-ray, I have to hook up the PS3, which will probably need to be replaced eventually because the fans in it are the loudest thing in the room most of the time. About 8 years ago. Get a PC. Install Plex. Buy a couple of multi-terabyte hard drives. Legally create backups of your DVDs using Handbrake or other. Enjoy your own streaming service from your office, living room, or wherever. Put those DVDs in an attic or give them away. Not DVD, but I buy 4K discs, preferably steelbooks. Streaming can't touch the sound quality you get from a disc. Not to mention streaming services are starting to charge a premium for their limited crappy 4K content. DVDs are, by and large, unaffordable to most younger people, because the relative cost to paying $10 a month for such and such service is trivial compared to spending $5, $10, $20 on a DVD for every movie you don't have and will want to watch again. There's no reason for them to be so expensive. But media companies have been leaning hard on the grift and losing more money trying to nickel and dime consumers than they are making from nickel and diming. There are a few movies that are not available at all on streaming, but for the most part I have given up using the hundreds of DVDs I used to have.